Talking all things entertainment, this is Sherri Pullum in the studio with Dreamers Unite.
She said, Bill, okay, I'll make a deal with you. I love you and I want to see you survive. If for the next 3 weeks you meditate and don't take drugs or alcohol, if you still want it after the 3 weeks of meditation, I will buy you a quantity of drugs and alcohol that you desire. I said, bet.
Wow. Hey, Dreamers, and welcome to Dreamers Unite in the studio. And it's season 2. Yep, that's right. We are here in the studio to dream, share, and manifest with even more fabulous and wonderful guests. I am your host, Sherri Pullum, and I thank you for joining me. Listen, before I introduce our amazing guest for season 2, I want you to hit that subscribe button, please. Show us some love, show us some support, because without you, we can't keep going on this YouTube channel. So please share, subscribe, do all those things. All right. So today I have such a special, legendary, iconic human being. His name is Bill Duke. Yes, he is an award-winning actor, producer, director. He's also an author as well, documentarian, humanitarian, and I cannot wait to get into the conversation with him about his story and how he has become this prolific storyteller, award-winning actor, producer, writer, director, all of that. We are definitely standing on his shoulders. So without further ado, let me bring on our guest, Mr. Bill Duke. Welcome to Dreamers Unite in the studio. It is an absolute honor and really just a privilege and pleasure to have you on our show and for me to have this conversation with you. So welcome.
Thank you.
I want to start off. You are from Poughkeepsie, New York, yes?
Yep, Poughkeepsie, New York, upstate New York, yes.
And tell me about your beginnings, because did you ever dream that you would be here where you are now as this prolific storyteller, actor, writer, producer, director, coming from Poughkeepsie, New York? Your parents, right, were, like I said, humble beginnings. So tell us a little bit more about that. And did you dream of being an actor as a child?
Well, I came up during segregation, but I fortunately had great parents, and they always told my sister and I, no matter what the obstacle may be, never let it stop you from realizing your dreams. And if my sister and I were running, and we fell in the gravel while they were with us, they picked my sister up and wiped the gravel off her knees and kiss her and hug her. And they look down at me and say, get up.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're preparing me for the real world I would face. And no one's going to pick me up and kiss me. So they prepared me for what I was supposed to face. They were great parents.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And yeah, sometimes we need to be prepared for the toughness in the world, right?
Yes.
Did you dream of becoming an actor when you were a child?
No, not really. I really didn't know anything about acting until I was in junior college. And my one of the things you had to do in a speech and drama class was you had to be in a play, and the teacher put me in a play called The Emperor Jones. I never acted before. And so that was my first introduction to acting.
Wow. And I also heard you say in an interview that your parents thought, okay, you'll be a doctor. And didn't you study and start taking medical courses and said, I don't think that's for me? Did you go down that path?
Yeah, I wanted to be a number of things. I wanted to be a boxer and those kinds of things. And once I caught the acting bug, I thought I might want to act. And in those days, they thought that was the most impractical thing. But I used to write journals, and so they said you should go to. I got a scholarship to Boston University, and so I was able to go to BU, and then I met Lloyd Richards, was my mentor, first black director on Broadway with The Raisin in the Sun, and he mentored me. And then the Negro Ensemble Company was the only black theater rep company in the country at the time. Robert Hooks and those folks. And I went over to the Negro Ensemble Company and did some work there. And the bug really caught me, and something I really wanted to do. So kept going.
And you did it so well. And tell us about your first film really acting in was, of course, Car Wash, which still leaves an indelible mark on so many hearts and minds with your iconic character, Abdullah Mohammed Akbar, AKA Dwayne.
Yes. Well, Michael Schultz believed in me and mentored me to a great extent. And so when I got that part in Car Wash, I could identify with it because myself and a lot of other young black men were angry at that time, because of the challenges we faced just to be black. I had a lot of help from people who supported me, and many of them were white. But at the same time, there were things that we faced that were hard to digest.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been known really as the godfather of African American cinema. And those hard times, and still there's hard times for us as a people to face. Um, what part of those journeys really helped you become this prolific storyteller?
Well, I will say this, and not to be corny, but God, um, the hand of God has guided me through my entire life, my career, everything. Um, as I said before, I had the support from a lot of wonderful people that believed in me. And then one time I saw a film, I forgot the name of it, but with Sidney Poitier, who I had the privilege of meeting. And he was on screen, and a white man slapped him in the face, but he slapped the white man back.
Yes.
And I said, I like that, and he was not a victim. He was a heroic, profoundly dignified, admirable spirit. And
Yes.
that was very, very encouraging to me in so many ways. And then I had the privilege of meeting him in Beverly Hills. I was at a restaurant with this young lady I was trying to impress. I took her to a fancy restaurant. And Mr. Portier came in and he said to me, I recognize you from a couple of your films. Come here. I said, well, I want. He said, come here, come here. So I said to the young lady, excuse me, I have to go talk to Mr. Portier. He wants to. So I went and we sat down, which I thought was going to be 5 minutes, for around 20 minutes. And he was funny, insightful, respectful, and brilliant. I learned so much from just talking to him about the business and endurance and how you had to just dig in and find something in yourself, you know?
Yes.
And we just talked for 20 minutes or so, and I just said, thank you. Thank God to go back to the young lady. And I went back to the young lady, and she was gone.
Well, you know what? That was going to be my question. It was going to be, was she still there?
No, she left.
Well, I tell you what, it was worth it for you to have
Yes.
that time with Mr. Poitier. I mean, and you have been such a mentor through your foundation and to other young people. As a matter of fact, you know, I heard the story with Taraji P. Henson and how you helped inspire her and also give her some of her breaks when she first came to Hollywood as a young actor. Did you really know, you know, like, I'm going to give back to, just like you had received so much help from teachers and again, Mr. Portier sitting with you for 20 minutes or so. So was that something that was really important to you to give back?
Yes. You know, you know, some people get what I call blamnesia. It's the black man's amnesia. They forget how they got there, and their egos take over. You know, ego, edging God out, takes over, and you think it's just you, but it's more than you. I mean,
Yeah.
something in your spirit, something supports you, and I think when you see young people being challenged or suffering, you have to do whatever you can to give them hope. That should be what our legacy is, that we reach back and we cared and we want to help as many people that we as we can.
Yeah.
And that's just part of what we should be about. It's not doing people favors, it's what we should, how we should think about ourselves. If that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. And that's the soul work that you're doing, the heart work that you're doing. And it makes sense to inspire our young people. And listen, people of all ages need inspiration and hope,
Yes,
and especially during these times. And that was,
yes.
it's a great segue into my next question. As a filmmaker, as actors, producers, writers, as creatives, how do we continue to tell our stories in a time when many of us, our stories, especially for underrepresented voices, marginalized voices, how do we continue to tell our stories?
Well, I think the the studio system as we once knew it has changed drastically. They're doing, the networks are doing fewer things, the studios are doing fewer things, but due to the grace of God, between all of the new technologies that exist now, AI and Chat GPT,
Yes.
there are three things you need: funding, distribution, and marketing. And if you can raise money for that, for example, if you have enough eyeballs, the thing that's very important, you can go to YouTube and they'll not only let you distribute your content, but they'll also allow you to own a good portion. And that's the key. We know actors that make, say, okay, if they act in a film, they get $5 million. Okay, and that's a lot of money. But suppose they make $500 million off of the movie that you made,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
get what's called the residual. That's the business as it's always existed. But with YouTube, for example, you own your own content and you become the distributor, the marketer, and the funder. And it's it's a different world. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it makes 100% sense. And so, I mean, that's really hopeful that there's so many different platforms now to create content where you can own your own content. It is hard to get those eyeballs, but as you said, it is possible. And so, in moving to the YouTube platform space, what do you think a young filmmaker or actor, how do you think that they should best, you mentioned, spending in the marketing end of it. What do you think is their best way to kind of gain those eyeballs or gain that attention? And is there a personal touch anymore? Can you reach out to people anymore?
Well, you can do one of two things. You can make millions of dollars like these young ladies who are, I'm not putting them down, they're showing their butts and breasts and doing other kinds of things that are sexually explicit. Or you could take seriously the craft of directing, acting, producing, and writing and go to school, learn the craft, learn how to create a script with a beginning, middle, and end, learn how to create characters that have a beginning, middle, and end, and learn structure, learn how to make people feel and think about the content you've created. It's a craft.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people don't believe in that. I understand that, but fact of the matter is, when I go to the movies and I see something with craft and I care about it, it's powerful to me, very powerful.
Yes. Yes, and the stories that you have told as an actor and as a writer, one of the things I heard you say many times in many interviews, the lines are last, and it really is about becoming. And when I tell people too, I mean, we are our main characters, right, in our own lives. And how do you want to be the star, right, in your own show? Uh,
Hmm.
and how do you become the best version of yourself? I wanted to talk a little bit about wellness because you also are a meditation teacher, correct? And you studied. And so, how did you start into the wellness field as well?
Well, when I was at the bottom of my life and begging for money on the streets of New York just to pay my rent and survive and eat, I met a young lady named Aida Tengamala, who's a sister of a good friend of mine, and she saw the state I was in, and she said, "Bill, I know you smoke the marijuana, you take the drugs and everything, but do you know you're doing that to kill pain?" I said, "Yeah, well." She said, "Well, you know, you're going downhill health-wise." I said, "And?" She said, I just want you to try transcendental meditation. I just want you to try it. And I think that can help take the stress from your system, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." I said, okay, okay, okay. So I started meditating, but at the same time, the first week I meditated, I kept taking the drugs and the alcohol. She said, "Bill, okay, I'll make a deal with you. I love you and I want to see you survive. If for the next 3 weeks you meditate and don't take drugs or alcohol, if you still want it after the 3 weeks of meditation, I will buy you a quantity of drugs and alcohol that you desire. I said, bet.
Wow. Wow.
Because I just knew, hey, I'll go through this and I'm going to get my drugs.
Yeah.
The first week was very difficult because it was withdrawal. Second week was less difficult, but it was still withdrawal. But by the third week of meditation, a peace I found within me I had never had before. And I've never taken a drug since.
Wow. That is such a beautiful, heartwarming story on so many levels. And I can only imagine the courage that it took. And like you said, you were kind of doing it like, bet, I'll get all the drugs I need. And it changed your life forever. And I am deeply grateful that you chose you over the drugs and over the alcohol. We all are, because you have inspired generation after generation after generation. My last question, well, I guess I have two more quick questions. One is, how did you survive in this industry? How did you sustain through all the challenges? And as you said, the meditation, God, how did you make it in this industry for so long? And now getting your Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and you have a street named after you. But how did you sustain that?
God,
Yes.
connecting to the God spirit within me that I am, giving gratitude that is far beyond my ego, giving thanks every day, waking up and thanking God every day. Um, you know, it's just, a lot of people think it's corny when I say God, but I would not be here if there wasn't some divine entity that's been protecting me all my life. And I just give grace every single day. Friends that have supported me and loved me in my worst times and my best times. Family that's loved me. A great mother and father. My sister who's deceased but supported me also. My niece Nalo. And, you know, it's like the support of other human beings and the God of my life, my quantum physics God, throughout my life, if that makes any sense.
It makes 100. Let me just give a shout and a hallelujah, because I certainly believe that. I know I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. I believe none of us would be here. So I don't think it's corny. I think it's beautiful. And I thank God for you, for me having this opportunity to be with you. And you are such an inspiration. We have a dream box here in the studio, and I want to fill it with as many dreams as possible to continue to inspire people higher. And dreaming is not just about dreaming and being detached to reality, but it's also about what you did too, having a vision and, like you said, a structure, a craft, sticking to it with hard work. I'd love to know, what's one of your dreams, and we're going to add it to our dream box. What is one of your dreams that you'd love to see come and manifest into the world?
My major dream right now is the health of mind, body, and spirit of my daughter and my grandchildren, that they prosper in their futures, not only in terms of financial needs, but spiritual needs, intellectual needs, that they really become rooted in something larger than their egos, and that they really leave a legacy that gives their futures hope, and that they become the very God spirits that they are.
That's beautiful.
Through humility, caring, and purpose.
That is beautiful. Well, I claim that with you. I claim the health and beautiful, abundant life for your children and your grandchildren. We all do. And we're going to add that to our dream box. It really has been such a great honor, really and truly. I learned so much from you, and thank you for sharing that story about your transcendental meditation. I meditate as well. I'm also a yoga teacher. And the importance of doing meditation in my life and prayer has been really important. But sharing that story of you being that vulnerable during that time, and I think it's going to help so many people that may be going through what you were going through during that time. So thank you for changing lives and for your honesty.
Thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it.
I thank you so much, Mr. Bill Duke. There is so much more I want to talk about. I know you are on a limited and tight schedule, and I just so appreciate you, really, from the bottom to the top of my heart, to all of my spirit and soul. I am just thankful, and we are thankful, and just continue to do the work that you do. And we are going to continue to enjoy all of your films and amazing acting roles that you've done, and all the amazing films and even television shows that you have produced. So I'm going to have you come back, and we'll have to have some more time. Is that good?
That's wonderful.
Amazing. I thank you so much, and I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. God bless.
And God bless you too. I mean, come on, dreamers. I know you didn't expect that. This man is iconic, legendary. We are standing on his shoulders of excellence. All right, so listen, I know you don't want this episode to come to an end, but it is going to come to an end. But that doesn't mean I won't be back, because I will. Listen, if you enjoyed this episode, or you enjoy this type of content, please hit the subscribe button. And I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts, your opinions. If you have a Bill Duke moment that you want to share, or a favorite film, or one of his acting roles that are your favorite of all time, please feel free to share it in the comments. All right, so look, dreamers, you know what I love to say. Now is the time for dreamers to create the world we wish to see. And I will see you next time right here in the studio.